from your experience so far, up and coming artists, we talked earlier about how sometimes we talked about that the video behind Blast would cost 15 grand, right? That's which is a lot, right? That's crazy. But what are some things that you see artists wasting money on, or maybe getting taken advantage of, that, you know, whether it's video production, whether it's, you know, it annoys me when I have homies that are up and coming artists and they're like, hey, this guy hit me saying he could get me on Complex and all these blogs. You think I should do it? And I'm like, fuck no.
No.
Like, but what are some of those things that, you know, you kind of think artists could save some money on, or that you see them getting took on a little? You know, I see it happening a lot. So
I think, one, music videos, right? Like, some artists think that they got to go pay a bag to a director, and that just because they got a bunch of bread in the video and like a bunch of females in the video, it's going to go right. When it's like, you can really do the opposite. Like I said, like touch down on these college campuses and realize like there's a whole film department of a bunch of kids that need work. And there's probably some out there that's actually going to be the next who's who to be able to tap in with them and get on that type of level. Because it's all about recruiting from the ground source. So I feel like in the digital media space, photography and videography, like a lot of videographers get over on artists just because they don't understand like the 1-2 step process, what the difference is in having a steady cam and the difference between having a handheld camera, like the price difference between all that type of stuff. I also think PR damn near be jipping sometimes too. Because it's like,
explain that, because you could have that background and like,
yeah, like public relations is pretty much like, one, people need to understand in PR, they're pitching your story to people. They can't guarantee anything. You can't guarantee
in the
nothing.
same way no label can guarantee you to be on Rap Caviar.
Right. Nobody can guarantee it. All they can do is put you in front of the people, and hopefully the person who is pitching you has a good enough relationship to where they're going to accept. So that's what that is. Like, right? Like, it don't matter about if you pay $5,000 to the PR. You may get 3 fucking pickups. It's about the product that's on there. So I be telling people all the time, like, you don't need a PR if you do not have the demand for PR right now. Like, I understand you want to service your music out there, but that's what you got. Google AdWords, Facebook marketing, Sprizzy. You got all that type of stuff to be able to do back-end marketing for people to actually get to be able to see it. Because most of the times, motherfuckers not reading articles no way.
Yeah, I think that the most like overrated shit is like, you know, back in the day, your life might get changed if you ended up on Complex or Two Dope Boys or whatever blog, right? But like
hip hop,
yeah, whatever it is, right? But nowadays it's like we're not even consuming like media that way anymore. Like, unfortunately, you know, obviously those sites are still very, you know, they produce dope content, they do dope things, but like, you know, there used to be a time when if you got one of those looks, it would matter.
Yeah, but
it would move the needle, but it doesn't move the needle anymore.
It doesn't, because streaming platforms took pretty much their essence away. Because
if you take $5,000 and give it to a PR person to get on these websites, it's like you should have taken that $5,000 and shot 5 videos.
Yeah, for sure. Me personally, I look at PR as like just momentum pushes. I don't even think them articles really be that important. But what I do think it is yeah, it's for your consumer to see like, oh, he look like he bubbling up right now. Right. Oh, he got a double XL.
It's like reaffirmation, yeah.
Yeah, just a bomb to drop, just to be like, keep your momentum going in, but to keep the channel noisy, as they say in journalism. Like,
keep the fans almost excited. Like, oh yeah, this shit is going.
Yeah, exactly.
It is kind of crazy, because if fans think or see certain things, it makes them want to fuck with you even more, even though that they're like, I've noticed that.
Bro, it's like Sigmund Freud, the power of the subconscious. Like, you play on somebody mental so much, and you present something. It's Instagram at the end of the day. Like, you present one thing to them so much, they're going to start to take that in and really like associate that with you, regardless of if you telling them that or actually like just giving them a visual of that shit. It's going to go the way you want it to go if you consistent with it.
Because nowadays, right, there's like our generation now, what's it called? There's like all these IG pages that people pay to get on, right?
Yeah. And
like, you'll see the ones you know that are like okay, this guy's paid for that look.
Facts.
And now, unfortunately, with some of these pages, it's like almost most of them you could tell are like the label dropping the bag.
So would you say WorldStar started that though?
For sure.
Because WorldStar pretty much started that whole business model, right?
Yeah, no,
like
for sure.
Pay to get your shit posted, and then they go. But see, WorldStar used to really like damn near. I don't think people was understanding like what like Google owned YouTube and all that shit. So I don't think they understood like WorldStar was just taking a portion of your money you paid anyway and just putting it behind the ads and shit like that. So that's why I was picking up so many views. But again, it's a difference between people looking at the system from the broad perspective or looking at it from like a functionality perspective.